Hey, welcome back again to another edition of 90 Day Fiance. I'm your host, Keith Brooks, and today we got a special guest for you, live from parts unknown, starting the current season of 90 Day Fiance. Before the 90 days, Paul Staehl. Thank you, Paul, for coming. Just want to know, are you allowed to tell us where you're at right now?
At this moment in time, I cannot tell you exactly where I'm at. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I know. I had jobs like that when I was in the military too, so I completely understand. So,
well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about that because I really don't need some guys in black suits knocking on my door in like 15 minutes like they did about 3 weeks ago. And that's not a fun thing when somebody releases information about you that not supposed to be released. So, all right. So let's just get into it and let's talk about some stuff. So how's your mother doing?
Mother is doing really, really good, actually.
Yeah.
She was having a hard time. I mean, especially, when she first fought through and dealt with breast cancer. And then she lost her hair, she grew her hair back. She had a huge confidence problem with that. But, her friends and family are very supportive. So she's been doing quite well. When we had season 1, she was a little, it really bothered her how people saw the whole hair thing, because to her, it was like her sweet gesture, having, a gift from her to me, something she really treasured. She lost all her hair, she grew it back, that I could actually take with me through the Amazon. So she's just trying to be sweet, but I guess she found out that a lot of people see it as weird and creepy. So it did bother her quite a bit. It upset her a lot. She's embarrassed to go out in public or go to work, or she got off social media for a while. So I felt really bad about that for her. I really did.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that you got choked up when she gave you the hair and everything, and I know it meant something. It meant something. I noticed that. So, all right. So you were talking about Karini's mother might have breast cancer also?
Yes. Karini's mother, actually, they do treatment differently here. It's not chemo. She comes in and does treatment, doesn't lose her hair, doesn't have the nasty side effects. I'm not quite sure how the treatment works, but it's effective. I mean, she comes in, does her appointments, and then, sorry, people beeping in. She comes in, does her appointments, and then she...
So she's having chemo. Is it chemo or is it another type of treatment?
The treatment that her mother deals with, I know it has to deal with the lung and breast cancer stuff, but it's not chemotherapy. It's nothing to do with chemo. The treatment here is very different than in the United States. So she comes in, she has her treatment, and then she goes back. But she doesn't have, didn't lose her hair, doesn't get that nasty nausea. The side effects like they have in America, she doesn't have. So I wish I knew more about that, and I could tell Mom about it. It'd be nice for my mom to be able to get such treatment. But hopefully my mom never has to deal with cancer again. Hopefully that part of her life is not over with.
Oh, that's good. Now, would you want to work with some charities in like the breast cancer charities and everything?
I am going to the breast cancer walks. I will be making my presence there. I will be talking to people. I definitely want to bring awareness. We do some donations from time to time. My mom will do a donation campaign, and I'll share it on social media. That's one thing she loves is the campaigns. She gets nervous. She's like, I don't want you to put the campaign online. People might think it's GoFundMe. And like, no, it's a cancer society. People realize it's a cancer society. It's going for cancer people. So no one thinks it's GoFundMe. But she thinks people might get confused and think it's a GoFundMe. So we rarely share them for that reason. She don't want people to think that she's out begging for money or anything like that.
No, that's good. Well, I hope you can do something with breast cancer awareness and everything. And so, hey, how did you two meet?
We actually met on a dating app. It actually had a built-in automatic translator. It was awesome. And we talked on that for a little over a year. And then after about a year, we decided to meet. I debated for about 3 months before even going on the show whether to do it or not. But it was, nerve-wracking to go up there and travel first time, not speaking Portuguese, not knowing the area, Amazon River. It's intimidating. So I decided to go on the show and have the protection of having a film crew there, just for the safety matter. A lot of people think, you get on the TV show, it's all about making money. It's definitely, no one goes on the show to make money. For me, it was all about safety. The main reason I went on the show was about safety and having people there in case something went wrong. And then also I like the fact when they actually bring into my attention that I actually do, like Greenie, for example, gave me the deodorant, trying to tell me nicely to smell nice. I should have been more polite. Thank you. I appreciate that. She took her money, she bought it, and I was kind of an asshole about it. And I wasn't trying to be a dick, but I definitely was.
Well, I know a lot of people were, a lot of people that I think that was the only thing people said about you, except for that I need to teach you how to dress because you're always wearing blue shirts, and every time I do a video, normally I wear a different shirt. And the reason is because I was a school teacher, and when I went to school, I saw the teachers wearing the same shirts. So I have about 300 shirts, and it's not enough. I go to Walmart. I'm almost like an addict. I start shaking because I have to go buy another shirt and everything. So why do you always wear blue shirts?
The blue shirts thing, I think, is a majority of what brings that up. Is I guess a lot of people think it brings up my eyes. A lot of people tell me they like it. I look good in blue, so I'll actually wear blue shirts. But I mean, a lot of times I do have blue, red, I have black, I have a variety of colors, white. But most people seem to think I look better in blue. So a lot of times I'll end up wearing blue shirts, and a lot of people notice that. Then of course my heat jacket down here, it's blue. This isn't blue. My insect shield thing's not blue. Thank God. It's like a gray or olive color. I don't know. But it works. It's effective. I wore this thing, I think, I wore it the entire first season. And everyone always asks me, why in God's name would you wear that exact same outfit? And I wouldn't even wash it. And definitely, I think after wearing it for about, almost 3 weeks unwashed, it definitely probably got a little scent to it. But it was so effective. First got here, I tried the repellents. I tried everything. Everything mosquito-wise was such a pain. So then I put this on, and no bites. No bugs, no nothing bit me. Everything left me alone. So I left it on. And another feature with that, I didn't realize it, if something did actually land on it, like a mosquito did randomly land on it, it actually kills them, which is cool. I didn't know that. But you can actually wash it, I think, up to 70 times. People are blowing me up, sorry. You can wash it actually up to 70 times, and it still has the exact same effectiveness. But it's now I know that Greenie definitely make sure it's washed regularly. But I mean, it was the only thing. It was the one thing it worked in Brazil. So then in Kentucky, in the backwoods of Kentucky, or you're going fishing in Kentucky, mosquitoes are really, really bad, especially in the swamp areas. So I experimented with it in Kentucky, and not one bite. I wore it without no repellent, nothing bit me. No ticks, no chiggers, no fleas, no mosquitoes, no nothing. Nothing in the insect kingdom bit me. Wow. So it was. That's why I wear it all the time. I wear it quite often. If you see me on the road, I wear it.
So what do you think the best thing was that you brought to Brazil? Because I noticed you brought a lot of stuff, and I know I ripped on you the first season because you were in the airport with like 25 crates and everything at the airport struggling. So I was like, what was the best thing you brought?
See, I have my insect shields clothes, which is insanely effective. I brought my heat vest. Everyone thought it was a ballistic vest. That's one thing I have to be careful wearing in public. It's like when I wear it into the shopping malls. I wore it in shopping mall one time. It was hot one day, and like all security started watching me for weird. And so I unzipped it, and if you actually look at it, pull out one of the things here. I'll show it to you why it looks weird. Because it looks like a ballistic vest. If you look at it, I think you saw it on TV before. If you look inside, it's got like ice packs. So you can see these little white packs in there. Yeah, it's white packs. So you see this little, gringo, see this random white nerdy guy wandering around the shopping mall with a vest with these little white things in it. And, I mean, to them, I didn't know what they thought they were. Maybe they thought it was a bomb. I don't know. I mean, it was just ice. But they definitely watched me like a hawk the entire time I was in there. I didn't have things like it in Brazil, so they were looking at me like, what is with that gringo guy? And this was actually, especially around the time there was actually a shooting or something too, or somebody, another white kid went crazy. So, and I'm walking around the shopping mall, sorry for my language, walking around the shopping mall and with an ice. And then Greenie absolutely loves this thing. She loves the heat hat. She likes to put it on and wrap herself up in it. She actually used it more than anybody else. She puts a little face mask on. She looks like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. What else do we get? I got tons of hand sanitizer. I buy it by the liter now. I buy this stuff by the liter. It's great. Let's see here. Then what else do I got? This thing. It is a thing from a company called Rapid Cure. And some people notice I have it on there, and I use it throughout the show. Now, the reason why I use this one more, and I actually use quite a few water filtration devices, but this one actually filters everything, including pharmaceuticals. So I figured, well, if someone tries to drug my water bottle, I'm covered. But it covers everything. If you actually were to drink water from the poop water stream, you would put the poop water in here and then drink through the straw, and the water in the straw would be totally clear. So it makes it extremely useful to have. It literally filters out all your bacteria, all your viruses. Like a lot of the ones that are popular only filter out bacteria. They don't filter out viruses. This one filters out all your bacteria, your viruses, your pharmaceuticals, your toxins, everything. So I always make sure I try to keep that with me in case I actually emergency use it. It's there. I use it, of course, with the tap water in Brazil. You can't really drink the tap water in Brazil. So I could actually put tap water in that bottle and then use it. But now we got a big drinking water stand now, so we don't need to do that. But it's a good thing to have anywhere. You know, if you want to put tap water in it and use it, you know, it filters everything out. It's good to have. What else did we bring? I guess the other thing that is a United States thing that we have that Karini absolutely loves, and we're using it constantly every day, is we're actually been using Rosetta Stone. Now, she's been going to English school for a while, and she's having some difficulty. So I got her to try to use Rosetta Stone, and she loves it. She would actually sit there in the hammock for hours and just tinker with Rosetta Stone, and it was just really fun, entertaining, and she really loved everything about it. So she did. I asked her, "Do you have any negativity? Anything you like critique on it? Something we can tell you don't like?" She loved everything about it. The only thing actually I take it back. There's one thing she had a little frustrated on, and that was with we changed the settings on it. Because when you use Rosetta Stone, you have to set up as male or female voice, and you have to make sure that's adjusted to your voice. Otherwise, it's going to ding and say a lot of things that are correct or incorrect. But once you get it correctly adjusted to your voice, then there's no problems. And then there's absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. But it's just a lot of people don't realize that. They get frustrated with the software. It's, you have to collaborate it to your voice, and then it works fine. But no, Rosetta Stone's been great. I think Rosetta Stone is a heavily used thing for our languages. And, of course, Insect Shield we've been using. I use Insect Shield all the time. Green loves Insect Shield, too. She's actually got her own Insect Shield sleep shirt, and she wears every single night to bed. And we have an Insect Shield blanket. We had it so bad with the mosquitoes and bugs and everything else. And so when we started using Insect Shield, then you sleep in Insect Shield stuff, it went away. We would wake up without having bites everywhere. So that was nice. Because, mosquitoes getting in your room at night is no good. And, of course, any of those bugs that can bite you at night is no good.
Okay. Hey, when you met Karini's father and you proposed marriage or asked him to marry Karini, you did a hand gesture, and I just want what did the father think about that one?
He laughed it off. I had no idea what I had done until I saw the episode. I'm sitting there at home watching it, so I'm like, oh, I just did that on international television. Oh my God. And of course, after the first airing, TLC went back and blurred it out. But, when they first aired it, they didn't blur it out. But no, when I actually went through and I'm sitting there and I go, it's like me, Karini, and I'm the evil mute. And then I look back to it and I'm like, oh God. Oh, and you see his face. He's kind of like, Gasolini! I'm like,
oh boy, that was
patient
bad.
man, such a patient man. He probably thought it was staged. Like the TV camera goes to stage. They want to see if I'm going to freak out or not.
Yeah, probably.
That was accidental.
So I noticed you got an interpreter to go in and talk to Karini's father, and how do you react to the paperwork?
The lawyer we had actually was actually a civil lawyer in Brazil, and she actually specialized in domestic violence in Brazil. So she was the perfect person for the job. Network did a good job helping us locate her. So when she actually came to the interview, she went through everything, all the statements, all the records, explained to her parents, including the letter of recommendation. Oh, I'm sorry, including a letter I had from a chief of police explaining that I wasn't a bad person, which to me, I mean, that was a great thing. It's like all this stuff. It's like, by the way, here's the chief of police of a department saying he's not a bad guy. So showing him that to her father too, I think also was a nice factor, saying I have this, I have this, I have this. But even before we actually got to the letter from the chief of police, he had already said, "I forgive you, it's okay." But I figured, okay, I'll show him this. If he goes off like okay, now I'm going to show him this. But I didn't need to. He was actually very forgiving on the situation. He's very understanding. He's a very understanding man. Very forgiving man. I found out from Karini about a few days ago that Karini was actually accused of burning their house down. Not burning it down, sorry. Burning part of their house.
Wow.
So, yeah, this was messed up. Now, look, Karini, I thought she was joking with me. I was like, wait, you were accused? She's like, I was accused. It wasn't me. She told me who it was. It was somebody else in her family. They were playing a joke. The joke got out of hand. So that entire section of their house burned off. So they rebuilt it. It's now currently their kitchen. I always noticed that it was a little different. It was a different room in the home when I was there, and I always kind of wondered, why it was kind of built the way it was, why it was so strange. Now I know, because it was burnt down. They had to rebuild it. What little they had, they did a really good job rebuilding it. But no, she was accused of it, and Karini. I stress on her and things like that. Fire, especially with my record and everything. We don't need anything to fire in the home. In Brazil, you don't have fire extinguishers and fire alarms. And you got to be very careful when fire don't happen, because if it does happen, you're in an all wooden home, no fire alarm, no fire extinguisher. It's a problem. So that was one thing with her. And Karini too, we had some fights. Everyone sees a lint tray, like, oh my God, you're getting on the lint tray. The lint tray was just like the smallest thing in regards to fire hazard. The other thing she did was there was this little ghetto, they had this cheap little splitter thing in Brazil, and when she would actually plug into this cheap little thing, and she put her in the TV, occasionally it would spark. Well, one time she did that, and there was paper underneath it. So luckily I was standing right near the TV, and she had turned the TV on, and went, this little fire started on the television.
Wow.
So I had to go in there, and we don't need this right now. So I made sure she's interested to always get a splitter. Actually, I bought a brand new splitter that they don't have that problem with it anymore. So I eliminated that problem. But the only thing that was really bad with her was she stopped doing it. But we first started living together, started cooking. She would start frying something, and she would lay down or go watch TV or sleep. Now, when I was growing up and I started to learn how to cook, when you start frying something, you do not leave it at all. From smoke and everything else that can happen, but definitely fires. So when she starts frying something, and then she's kind of like wanders over, lays down, takes a nap, or goes to sleep, it's like you're going to burn the house down. You cannot do that. You can't leave something frying on the stove unattended. And we had a lot of things like that. So I told her, I was like, at this point, maybe a fire safety course would benefit because there's certain things you can't do. You can't, leave fryer unattended. You can't constantly use a dryer and not change the lint. I'm not quite sure exactly how the fire occurred in the past and there were kids, but that can't happen. So it's a problem, especially, having possibility of starting a family, you got to be really careful on things. So especially, like I said, in Brazil, you don't have fire alarms, fire extinguishers, and that's something you cannot risk. You really can't. So it's a learning progress for both of us, I guess.
Okay, can you tell any other funny stories with you and Karini?
So we had a really high electric bill. We first moved in, we were there for a little while, and we were always running electric bills kind of high. It's really, really high, and then we actually went to Tocantins for a month. We came back, and our electric bill was the highest it ever was. It was well over 1,000 reais. It was insane. I'm like, we weren't even doing this month. What's going on? So we ended up going down the basement, found out where they kept the bills. we didn't have the key to it. So I was ordering, figure out what's going on with this bill. When I see what this bill is, see if it's accurate, see what's going on. So she on top of my shoulders, she's up in the mailbox, and she's in there, and she can't get it. Her hand's small, she can't reach in and get it. Like, okay. So I go upstairs, and I MacGyver a little stick, and then put some, I want to say it was Gorilla Tape or some type of duct tape. I put tape on there, and just go in there and just tap it. So we went there, and she tapped it, got a little paper out, slid it out, and sure enough, the bill was insanely high. So, still in disbelief, I went over to the meter, and that's when I figured out what was going on. Once I had the bill and I could see the meter reading was so far off. That's why, because our current meter reading before was actually less than was currently on the meter. So there was no way that we could have possibly used that much power. It was impossible. So once we realized that, it's like, oh, okay, this meter is reading out, this number, and this number here is it was like 1,000 or 2,000 or something crazy amount higher. It's definitely not anywhere near, what we used. So that explains why our bill's so insanely high. But it was, it was significantly higher. The number was way, way off, but it was funny to be careful.
Oh, so you said the mailbox was really high. She had to stand on your shoulders to get the mail?
Yeah, she had to stand on my shoulders. People were walking down there like, on. And we're down there, I got, this little gringo guy, and I got my Brazilian girl on my shoulder. She's up in the little box, back and forth. It was a sight to be seen. It was funny. That was a funny moment.
Okay, so how did you actually get on the show?
I actually got on the show. I emailed them, and then they responded pretty quick. And then I thought about it for a good 3 months. And after 3 months thinking about it, I decided, okay, if I'm going to go to the Amazon and meet this, Brazilian, if I'm going to meet this Brazilian beauty on the Amazon, I want to make sure I'm listening to her. It seemed like it was too good to be true. So, you go there, it's like little geeky, dorky white guy with a whole bunch of quirks. She, was amazingly beautiful. And, I was like, what if, this might be too good to be true. I saw some of her Facebook posts, where she had some photos of ex stuff on there. It's like, man, what's the trap? What's it set up? I don't know what's going on with this. I'm really nervous. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So definitely was very, very, very cautious on everything. So I decided, okay, I want to go on the show, and I'll at least have them for a security measure. If anything goes wrong, there's other people with me. So at least I have that to fall back on as a safety net. I always try to be over-prepared. So.
Oh, okay. So how has your life changed since you've been on?
I learned a lot of things about myself, a lot of things I need to change, things to help better myself. People that go on the show, it's usually pretty standard with everybody. You guys still think about it. Now, if you notice, a lot of our fans treat people on the show kind of like they do politicians and politics. You got conspiracy theories. You got, these big media, this big reveal, a scandal, this new thing is happening with so-and-so, and well, you got the paparazzi, you got some of these crazy, way off-the-wall theories, and, they really go after cast members. Man, it really is like politics. I mean, you look at people in the election, and you got the extreme right and the extreme left, and you got extreme fans on both ends. You got extreme fans that are really for you. You got extreme fans that are totally against you no matter what you do. You're always going to be wrong. And it's nerve-wracking. I try to be.
No, I understand completely. So let's see.
You got some people, that'll go online and they'll do a story. It's totally off the wall. It has nothing to do with what's going on.
Well, I know there's one story about me that was going on a few months ago. I don't know how that happened, but
slander's never, especially when I have all the proper evidence. They go out there and you can't just directly bash competition. I don't go out there. I'm not going to bash other cast members, things like that. And some people, they go on and they think it's a competition, and they think it's like almost like it's an election. The 90-Day Fiance franchise. There's currently there's going to be 4 shows. You got normal 90 days. You have full 90 days. you have Happily Ever After, and you have The Other Way. There's no reason that anybody's got to fight and cut through anybody. They have 4 shows. If you have good enough ratings, they will find somewhere to stick you. Actually, fine. You include What Now? Fine. I'm sure, they will find somewhere to stick you. There's no reason to cut through. You got to be a team. Got to work together. You have bad days. You have good days. Someone's a bad day, try to help them out, reach out to them. But no, people on the show, they usually go the same way. They get on there, and you notice they'll go on social media, and they get this big ego from, before they get on the show, and they reach out and everything else. Then they start airing, and then the first thing that hits them when they have this big ego is all the negativity and the crazy tabloids and everything else. And then it's a lot of people, and me even, it affects you. It makes you nervous. You go out in public, what's going to happen, whatever people are going to think. So it's constantly something we always got to be aware of. It's negativity, though. People don't negatively come up and bother, me or any person. We don't have that problem. On the internet, it happens. In person, in real life, it don't. People do go crazy. They will call your place of work. They will call your family's house. They'll mail stuff to your house. They'll mail stuff to your P.O. box. It's like bizarre. And remind people, the P.O. box is a federal post office box. It is not something you send random things to, so that federal employees can deal with it. But I mean, you get a whole random amount of things that come in. But it's nerve-wracking. You deal with all the negativity and all the people. And usually I think after the first season, after a while, most people, I think, they get used to it and they adjust and they figure out what's really going on. I know for me, it was extremely stressful, all the negativity and everything, all the hate. It really put us on edge. And seeing us on TV, you realize that season 2 was different. It was definitely a whole lot different. Filming went a lot smoother. It was this whole year is a roller coaster of events.
Oh, do you have any advice for people that want to go on the show?
Main thing is to make a detailed email. Who you are, about you, how you met, photos, maybe a video of the two of you, a little bit about your personality. Just really put a really well-written, detailed email together and send it to them. You notice in an email like, hey, what up? I want to be on the show. Me and my girl from the Philippines will be on the show. You got to make sure you get on there and just kind of really well write it out. Don't, get on there and like, hey, I got my girlfriend from Brazil, and then I'll be on the show, and my girl's from here at XYZ in Brazil, and we're going to be on the show. Okay. They want to know, okay, what country, a little bit about her past, a little bit of their past, his past. Definitely apply. You definitely have a good chance of being on the show. But basically, first they get back with you. You do an interview, and after your Skype interview is done, they'll actually maybe do a phone interview, something like that. But after the Skype interview, I mean, the big thing is you'll do like a second thing of paperwork. First, you do a paperwork for the Skype interview. Then you do a Skype interview. Then after that, there's a big thing of paperwork. They do a criminal background check. They do a really thorough criminal background check on all parties involved, both the immigrant and the American. They go through everything. And anything that's on your record, you get called about, and they have to ask you. You go down the line and talk about every single thing they find. Well, I'll just say that I had definitely a long phone call on that one. They're like, so we found on your record this stuff. What's going on? And I actually went and got certified court documents, police records, everything, so I can explain to them here, this is what it is. I have references in law enforcement that know what really was going on. If this stuff was actually true, I would still be locked up. I would still be in jail or prison if this stuff was true. But it's not. This stuff, I went through thorough evaluations. That's why the judge signed off on it. He signed off. He got me out of prison. He put me back on the streets. He terminated my probation. They understand I'm not a threat to society. I'm not going to hurt anybody. Trust me, they thoroughly went through everything. But people, they see me. They see that I'm strange. I'm weird. I got little quirks. And they automatically assume that I'm some kind of, what is that wild murderer and his mother's name? Is it Ed Bates? I don't know. I see it all the time online.
Norman Bates.
That one, yeah. They always bring that up. Mom's talking about it. I'm like, I don't know, Mom. Maybe it's from the hair incident. Maybe it's just from how we are. I don't know. But they definitely do us quite a bit.
The interpreter you were talking about, have her call me.
Still a lawyer.
Yeah, have her call me.
Huh?
Have her call me.
See?
She's single. Have her call me. Call me. Call
No,
me.
I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
She'll probably watch this video. So she's a
Yeah.
sweetheart. She's really nice.
Call me.
I actually tipped her because I had to pay for her, or pay for her actually to be on TV and to talk. I paid for her entire thing
Wow.
because that's the thing. The network is well, not the network, but that's one thing they're really big on during filming is they don't pay for any of your travel, any of your lodging, or anything they think might have to do with the visa. So they said,
Right.
okay, because she's translating, your criminal record to her family, we want to make sure that we don't have anything involved with that. So we need to pay for that so we can film with her. The only frustration I had with that was my actual attorney for immigration is a Brazilian American. And she immigrated to America, and she's been through the process. She's Portuguese, and she's a lawyer. I actually had my lawyer already talk to Kareem about everything because you can't go to the embassy interview and be surprised, like, oh, he has this. What is that? That's an automatic red flag denial.
Right.
So she had to be totally on point with everything. So, and that's one thing that was very stressful because even in Brazil, the federal police, pulled her aside and talked to her. Hey, are you aware about everything on his record? So Creamy has got so well educated. She don't know about his record. She knows.
All right, one last thing here. You said when you originally met Karini online or on the app, you met her friend or something, was trying to date her first?
No. What happened was I reached out online. I talked to a lot of people, and I didn't know how things were going to go, especially with Karini. I had to talk to Karini online for over a year, and the language barrier was a concern for me. And then, honestly, some of the things about her was a little bit concerning, too. She did seem a little immature. Now, I've been talking to people that were, spoke fluent English. One was an ER doctor. Another one was a normal doctor. There was a vet technician. There was a wide variety of people and wide variety of employments. Karini, of course, she does not have a career set in place like they did. She's not fluent English like they did. So I didn't know what to expect. So when I got to Brazil, and then things just really took off, as I figured I'd get there, either it'd be like a catfish situation, we'd be totally, we wouldn't match, the language barrier would just be, too much for us, and that'd be it. I figured that, it might not work. So when I got there and we fell in love and we actually beat the odds and we just made it work. I mean, even like today, I don't speak fluent Portuguese. She don't speak fluent English, but we'll say enough. We'll try to say enough things in each language. Like I'll say as many things I can in Portuguese and then replace the other words with English words. And she'll do the same thing she says English. So when she'll start talking to somebody in English, they'll get confused. She'll start saying something in English and then she'll throw in a random word like, what does that mean? What does depois mean? It's like, oh, it means later. She forgot the word for later, so she replaced it with the Portuguese word, which is good for me because when she does that, it reminds me of the other word.
I know you're kind of busy right now, so let's just thank you for coming by, and I hope to see you on another season of 90 Day Fiance.
I hope so too.
All right, thank you. And that's going to do our interview today. I hope everybody's happy. Peace out. Love y'all. Have a good day. Bye-bye, everyone.